so glad. I said, I'm so glad it's going to be a surprise. He said, yeah. He said, you know, I was talking to him, and he just has no clue. You know what? There's going to be over 100 people there. What a tribute to Craig. Well, guess what, Craig? What a tribute to you. This is about you. So it's my pleasure, and I'm happy to serve as your MC tonight. Let me tell you about Greg Bracale before we get down to the business of roasting. Greg is a Lebanon native. He was born and raised in West Lebanon and North Cornwall. He attended Cedar Crest High School and was a pole vaulter on the track team. I want to see that. During high school, Greg worked for Royer's Flowers in the interior landscape department. After high school, Greg attended HAC and worked at Hershey Med Center in the lab. Later in his career at the Med Center, he was a financial counselor and ended his career as the ophthalmology department administrator. After leaving the Med Center, Greg took a few months off to start Blue Heron Greenhouses, which was located in the former Royer's Flowers growing house on Colebrook Road. Around this time, the former resident at the Hershey Med Center came to Greg wanting him to work for him. Greg is now the administrator for Bouquet Mulligan to Mayo Eye Professionals in Cleona and Elizabethtown. And we have a whole table of folks here from there. They're waiting for us. As a child, Greg's mother always said he would dismantle his toys as he was intrigued in how they worked. Today, Greg still likes to dismantle and fix things. He has learned his carpentry skills from his father, and he's a very talented artist. In the early 80s, Greg started his own art business where he would recreate building structures in a miniature version. He would use balsa wood and glass and go to work building a replica of customers' homes or businesses and would even create his own streetscapes. Greg was an active member of the Friends of the Colonial Theater. While the Friends were not successful in saving the historic Downtown Theater, it was the beginning of his caring and support for Downtown Lebanon. In 1999, Blue Heron Greenhouses was born. The business ran for 7 years. After the sale of the business, Greg took a 2-year break and then became a floral vendor at the Lebanon Farmers Market. Spending 4 years at the market, it was time to move into his own location and specialize in unique gifts and flower designs. It was located at the rear of 828 Cumberland Street. The business ran for approximately 3 years, and then it was time to concentrate on the true love that Greg had, and that was for the City of Lebanon. Greg got involved in the Community of Lebanon Association. He's involved in many committees to help decorate for their events and became a member of those committees. As a member of the CLA, Greg was responsible for the creation of the 8th Street Music Fest, which is in its 12th year. Forming a committee and raising money was one of his many challenges to make this happen. Greg ended up with a great committee and was able to raise the funds needed. He became president of the CLA and had taken on yet another challenge. This year's challenge was the holiday lights in the park. When Greg sets his mind to something, and I think everybody here knows this, there is no task too large that is going to stand in his way and hold him back. Greg formed another committee and got to work raising almost $90,000 in 3 months to bring the community the holiday lights. Some of the other initiatives that Greg participates in include decorating the downtown for holidays, setting up and decorating the town Christmas tree, the planting of the planters along the downtown streets in early spring. Greg has other passions which include over the winter months making ice cream. He likes making unique flowers like strawberry basil, lemon thyme, pear rosemary. And he has a great passion for cooking. Greg loves the beach and loves his family time as well. But Greg's true passion is the City of Lebanon and how he can help to make a difference. So Greg, see this seat right here? This is for you. So we'll welcome you to the stage at this time. So get comfortable, relax, and enjoy the show. Here we go. Our first roaster this evening is John Bauer. John is one of our more recent volunteers to the CLA, and I'm telling you, it did not take long for him to become fully immersed in all things related to the Community of Lebanon Association. John started with Domino's Pizza in 1989 and has had the franchise in Lebanon since 2000.
So I was thinking about our presentation tonight. I was trying to think, how did I meet Greg Bracale? Well, I met Greg at an event we were holding downtown. It was called the Fireball Run. It happened a couple of years ago. I don't know if you guys remember it or not, but we have a mutual friend named Craig Gates. And Craig says, hey, Greg needs a couple antique cars to go downtown. And so that way when the racers come in, they kind of come through that center spot there. That way there's some cars parked there so that the racers have something to drive through. So I said, hey, I got 3 antiques, I'll bring them down. So there's 2 of my cars. And so we get it all set up, and I'm feeling pretty good about myself because the mayor's there and the fire chief's there. I'm like, hey, look, nothing bad could happen to my cars because as an antique car guy, we absolutely protect our cars at all costs. Like if it's damp out, they don't go outside, right? So I'm feeling pretty good about things, and Greg reassured me that, hey, nothing's gonna happen. So I leave for an hour, and I come back. You may not be able to see it, but if you look on the left side, that little red block, that's my car. So Greg said to everybody, hey, stand off to the side, just pile all around John's antique car. So there's my antique car over to the side. And the one thing I noticed is that when I took this picture, I'm like, wait a minute, that wasn't Greg's fault at all. The guy in the tie is Judge Capella. And if you notice him closely, he's waving to people and saying, come over, there's still some room on the roof. The roof doesn't have anybody on it yet. So actually you're off the hook on that one. So then Greg, after we get through this, Greg comes to me and says, listen, he goes, have you ever seen my book? I said, what book? And he says, well, it's my Greg Bracale's book of great ideas. Have you guys ever seen this book? I brought it with me. I brought it with me tonight so you can see it. Here it is. This is a 2017 edition. You remember giving this to me, Greg? This is our book of great ideas. So one of those ideas he had was, hey, listen, I get this great idea. Let's do a drive-through light display in Coleman Park. I'm like, okay, that sounds like fun. Let's do that. So this is like July, and he says, listen, all we have to do is raise $100,000 by September. Okay, 2 months to raise $100,000. That's never going to happen. I don't have to worry about this because he's never going to pull this thing off. So lo and behold, he raises $100,000. And I'm like, shit, we gotta do this now. So here we are, we're about to start out, and the one thing that he keeps saying over and over to me is it's Greg's phrase. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Everything's gonna be okay. So we recruit 4 guys, and we gotta start out this project putting these light displays together, and those 4 guys, I like to take pictures, so I took a picture at the beginning of Holiday Lights. So these are the 4 guys. So there's Greg, and there's Tom Capello, and me, and Craig Gates. Now this is the day Holiday Lights started, and so just kind of get some references. I also took some pictures when it was over. So here we are at the end. Now I myself seem to have taken this whole process pretty well. The other 2 seem to really have aged and wounded. Now you may notice that there's a picture missing there. Craig Gates, he's gone. Well, that's because halfway through he said, I've had enough of this shit. So that's my Craig's picture right there. So just had to give you, some before and after photos. There we go. So the one thing that came to my mind is, as we're starting into these projects, I'm like, man, it seems like every one of these projects, it's almost like he went to the guy that has a truck. Like, I don't know if he's really my friend or he just likes my truck. So we started out Holiday Lights, and this is the day we started Holiday Lights. That's my truck. We decided to take a picture of it on our way to Holiday Lights that morning. And so he says, so I get out there and he says, listen, we're just going to load a few displays onto your truck and we're going to take them out and we're going to distribute them out through the park. So I thought, well, that's great. So I'll take a couple pictures and that way I can share with all you guys later. So after Greg gets my truck, this is our first trip out through the park. And then throughout the display, if something would happen, he would use my vehicle to go and fix things. So like if something wasn't working, he was about to do it. So one day he says, hey, one of the displays in the back, it seems to want it, and it's just unplugged. You mind if I use your truck to go out and get it? This is Greg using my truck to go fix the display. And then he says, you know, another, hey, the display's working in your truck. So when it's all over, I decided to take the final picture for comparison. There's my truck at the end of Holiday Lights. So I said to him, hey, you know, we did pretty good for Holiday Lights. You think maybe, you know, car wash is like $3. You think maybe you could throw me $3? No. So he says, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So we also took a couple pictures throughout the thing. Here's Greg looking down and saying, how the hell does this thing go together? And here's another one saying, how many light bulbs? 100,000 light bulbs? This is crazy, we've got to screw them all in. Here he's saying, is it too late to back out of this thing? Here's where we realize, if one goes out, they all go out. The whole entire farm. Here's poor Tom Cabela saying, God, I hope he doesn't hit me again. And here we are plugging our outdoor light display into an indoor plug. I'm not saying that was a bad idea, but at the end of the Holiday Lights, that's what our outlets look like. And when it was all over, that's what our outlets look like.
In the second week, it
So
was $50,000
we were
to do
going
it right.
through, and we were having a little bit of problem. People were coming into the park thinking that, you know what, they don't have to pay. They can just go in for free. So Greg's phrase is, it's $15 freaking dollars. I can't tell you how many times I heard that. So he gets this idea. He says, listen, I'm going to take a couple hours, I'm going to go home, I'm going to build a sign for us, and we're going to have this sign down the bottom to let people know it's $15 freaking dollars. So he comes to the Holiday Lights and he says to Tom Capella and I, he says, hey John, can we use your truck and go get this sign? It's over my driveway. And we jump in the truck like, yeah, no big deal. Not a big deal at all. So I don't know if y'all know this, but there is a clearance law in Pennsylvania, like things can only be so high. So we pull into Greg's driveway and we look, and this sign is 15 feet high, setting in his driveway. So we pile it into my truck. It's now 20 feet up in the air, and we start out, and Tom's saying, oh my God, the mayor's going to ream me an ass. What's Greg saying? Don't worry about it. $15 freaking dollars. So anyhow, we managed to get up to Coleman Park with the sign. We didn't have much trouble. Everything went really well. But so the one thing he promised me when we started out Holiday Lights, we talked about cold weather. Because I'm like, Greg, this is December. You know, it's going to get cold out. He says, John, December, don't worry about it. December is warm. It doesn't snow. It's been warm. He says, listen, he says, this is how we're going to go to Holiday Lights. This is going to be us. So as I'm putting this together, I'm looking and I'm like, wait a minute. He's writing a book right there. That's the start of Greg Bracale's book of great ideas. And then I noticed off to the side, there's a check. It's like a life-size check. That was the first check for Holiday Lights. So again, his promise, warm weather. Well, here's the reality of Holiday Lights. It snowed continuously and it was extremely cold. So people might not believe me, so I actually went and I printed up the actual weather for Holiday Lights. So you're looking and you're saying, yeah, 41, 33, 20. That's not so bad. That's during the day. So what we want to focus on is the nighttime. Don't worry about it. Don't be warned. So anyhow, instead of looking like the beach picture, that's what we look like. Now, I was going through this, I'm like, wait a minute, I don't remember seeing Greg dressed dressed like that. I remember seeing Greg like that. That's because Greg was in the trailer with the 2 heaters all day long. The rest of us were outside. So as holiday lights are happening, we've come to realize that Lebanon can be known for a lot of things, but the one thing it should be known for is bad drivers. We've had people hit our generators, our ticket booth, run over our cones, just kind of, you know, you name it, they've done it. So they did manage to get a picture. We did have some buses that came into Holiday Lights. Here's a picture of a bus into our ticket booth. And really, most of the time through Holiday Lights, so next year we had a couple of suggestions for signs. One of the signs is pretty good. And instead of handing out a brochure next year, we're going to hand out the Bad Driver's Handbook. And at the beginning of Holiday Parks, down at the bottom, we're going to post a sign welcome to accident. So the worst drivers that we saw, all Holiday Lights by far, are the bus drivers. It's reassuring to me to know that if I ever get to a point where I can't drive a car, or I'm not able to do it, I can still drive a bus full of elderly people. I am a little reassured. So one of our buses going through actually ran over our cones, ran over our barricades, and started dragging everything through the park. So we chase the bus down, we get him to stop, and he's run over a cone, and the cone's kind of wrapped around the axle. So Tom Capel says, I'll crawl under and get the cone. So Tom crawls under the bus, and he's getting the cone out, and that's when Greg tells the bus driver, go ahead. Go ahead. And Tom's yelling, I'm under here! So, needless to say, Tom's come up a couple times. Tom has gotten pretty beat up through Holiday Lights, so I'd like to just give you a list of the things that's happened to Tom. So, first thing he did is he broke his wrist, he broke his ribs, he wrecked his truck. Actually, Greg dropped a Holiday Light on top of his truck, and somebody stole his generator. So, on a serious note, the generator's a pretty serious thing. You know, if anybody has any kind of evidence as to who may have taken the generator, we really would like to find that out. So if you have any ideas, but I gotta tell you, it was all worthwhile, because after all the sweat and, well, no sweat was frozen. After all the hard work that we did, Greg reassured us that we are going to have a party afterwards and everybody come together. Here's our party. But in all seriously, Greg, you are more than deserving of this. Your hard work and your dedication to the city is second to none. Congratulations, you absolutely deserve this.
I enjoyed that.
Part of an Irish saying that goes, my heart is warm with the friends I've made, and better friends I'll not be knowing. Greg falls easily into that category. I met Greg at the absolute positive worst time of my life. My husband Dave had recently passed away, and in the mountains of mail to be dealt with, one bill from the med center for some nuclear medicine that he received was being a big problem. I knew it wouldn't be covered by insurance. I was trying to get it paid, but actions were threatened if this particular bill was not paid immediately, if not sooner. Thanks for your caring, I thought. A close friend of mine, Kathy Ryder, who also worked at the Med Center, when I told her what was going on, she said, oh, you have to meet Greg Bracale. Okay, I thought. And David McCall. I was fully well prepared to do battle with yet another, I don't care about your situation, just pay up type. But, to my great and happy surprise, I found someone who listened to my problem, put my fears of big nasty men showing up at my door to rest. He told me, don't worry about it. This happens sometimes. Don't pay the bill on your own. And he took care of the problem with in maybe a day or so. Well, a huge burden was lifted, and I will be forever grateful on so many levels to what he's done. But from that encounter, and through, as it turns out, mutual friends, you know that 6 degrees of separation? It works. A friendship was formed that lasts to this day. And it's been a great friendship, through good times and not so good times, producing wonderful memories, some of which I can tell you about. Greg's characteristic helpfulness, kindness, creativeness, and caring. Now, before you get the idea I'm talking about some saintly Boy Scout, erase that tape. Because there's also a touch of just plumb crazy in him. I'd like to share with you a little bit about my friend Greg. Had a phone call several years ago, and I heard, "Hey, Marcella, I'm buying a greenhouse. It's on Colebrook Road." And Blue Heron Greenhouse was born. Everyone was enlisted to help. Family, friends, 2 cats. From that greenhouse came some over-the-top beautiful arrangements. A Meet the Candidates night. Spring flowers that he taught me should not be planted till after Mother's Day. But I said, people are buying them now. Don't worry about it. They'll be back in 2 weeks after the frost. And they were. And at Christmas, poinsettias. The new thing being the painted ones. And Greg was one of the first to have them. You could tell what colors were available by looking at what Greg was wearing. There was the annual cleaning of what could have been the original boiler. A filthy job. But he did it because temperatures needed to be maintained and things just needed to be right. There was a buzz about Blue Heron, and Greg was becoming a rising star in the business community due to his reputation of willingness to work at a new enterprise and trying his best to make it succeed, be it getting up in the wee small hours of the morning to check temperatures so those aforementioned poinsettias wouldn't freeze, or getting certified in the use of chemicals, which was a very scary proposition, I thought. And he did this all while running the daily operation with help from friends and family. I want to show you part of my work uniform. Blue Heron Greenhouse.
Did I give you that?
Yes, you did. What do I look at? In any case, all while running the daily operation for clients who wanted anything and everything from, Greg, you have my pots ready, to making sure the requests of the reddest of red geraniums were delivered to churches on Pentecost Sunday. His friends and family were encouraged to help separate the orders and deliver them. But, you know, holding down a full-time job, he called it his real job, and doing all that he could to be the best with the fledgling greenhouse took its toll. And after a 7-year run, the Blue Heron flew to a greener creek. Well, sort of. After a short hiatus, and you have to understand, Greg is one of that rare breed who is never still for very long. His mind's going the proverbial mile a minute, with opportunity coming along the way. Even now, there are times when I'm convinced he does not sleep, because he's just thinking about more ideas. That book, must be an example. Or for purchase, his comment was, let's kick the craft show up a notch at home. We also learned on that trip that Sonoma makes wine, Napa makes auto parts. And we turned into somewhat of wine connoisseurs and got into trouble, yeah, at Carvel. Yeah, he did, but it did not go well. To aid his recovery, I had brought him some gelato from Ciro's, to help mend the broken ankle that was done in several places. He missed the target. Wound up in a field of freshly manured. The recovery from that broken ankle, though, gave him plenty of time to think up new projects to try to make this place a better place to live. Why can't Lebanon, you can fill in the blank, was always running through his mind. Lately, as again has been mentioned, the newest project is gourmet ice cream. Stay tuned for more on that one. And I hear there's a wave of fear flowing through Ben & Jerry's in Vermont. All this plus memories of parties, especially those at Christmas. The dinners, gourmet really isn't much of a stretch. He's an artist in the kitchen as well. Numerous trips and so many activities that can't be counted. I'll forever hold them close to my heart. And I leave you with this truism. Everyone should have a friend like Greg Bracale in their life.
You know, I'm looking at St. Peter's Book of Lists, his list of life list, and, you know, I don't see your name on here, Greg. I don't know what to say, you know? And, you know, usually when an organization decides to honor a person for a lifetime award, they typically are thinking you're going to die soon. So maybe you'll want to think about how you can get onto that list pretty quick. I have known Greg for 8 years now, and as the mayor of Lebanon City, I truly value the city's partnership with the CLA, the Community of Lebanon Association. When Greg put his hat in the ring to become president of CLA, he thought it stood for cute little ass. What's even funnier, that came from my husband. When I found that Craig got elected as president, I immediately called Steve Goodhue with Edward Jones, and I said, Steve, I want to buy stock in L'Oreal. And he asked me, Mayor, why L'Oreal? And I told him because I was going to have to start dyeing my hair every week with Greg in charge. Because the man doesn't have an idea that he doesn't like. And this is Greg as president, taking us to new heights. Or maybe he's just getting away from it all. I mean, he doesn't have time to really go anywhere else with all of his ideas that he's doing. Now, under Greg's leadership, CLA's annual holiday tree went from this height That's true. And the holiday parade went from 6 bands, I mean, it was a mile long, to 1 band. And this one's really special. The New Year's Eve bologna drop went from a bologna that was more than 200 pounds to a hot dog. Now, Greg is involved in every event CLA hosts, and with every event, there's a planning committee. And at these meetings, I have grown accustomed to the Greg Bracale shrug. And it goes something like this. I rattle off a series of detailed questions. Greg, I'm going to have to reverse the traffic for the holiday light display. We will need to cover up all directional signs in the park. Erect new signs indicating the new pattern. We will need to have traffic control at these spots to make sure that no pedestrians come through and mix with the traffic. And also to make sure we have no head-on vehicle collisions. Will you be able to accomplish these tasks with just a few volunteers? You will need to have the fire police or paid flaggers on any public streets. This response is a combination of, I don't know, and keep talking or asking me questions and maybe an answer will pop up. But at the same time, don't worry about it. It will all work out. I couldn't figure out why Greg always wanted to have the committee planning meetings at a restaurant. This is Greg, always supporting the local businesses. In fact, most of our new businesses in the downtown over the last couple of years have all been eating and drinking establishments. So thank you, Greg, for making our downtown a success. And just in case he runs into a little trouble, Greg has it covered. There's one on every corner. And Greg is also very compassionate. He was moving stuff to storage at edible arrangements. And when the elevator doors opened, there was a squatter. And he asked the guy, "What are you doing?" And the response was, "I live here." So I said, "No, you don't. Get moving."
This event was for him. I texted him, I said, "Hey, are we going out for dinner tonight?" And he sent this weird response back. He said, "No, I'm going out for dinner somewhere else." It's like, well, how's that going to work? How are they going to possibly get him here? Little did I know. So, thank you. You know, all these pictures had other people in them because those are the people that help me get things done. No one can do this stuff alone. It's always a group, it's always a committee, it's always dedicated people that can make this stuff happen. I'm just a coach. The team's the one that gets the work done, and I appreciate everything that everyone has helped us with to continue to move us forward as we try to make things a lot better in the downtown. Holiday Lights was a huge project, and it's the biggest thing the CLA's ever done. I couldn't do it without John, I can't do it without the judge, but I will say this. John pushed the judge off that curb and broke his arm and broke his wrist. Now, you know, I get blamed for some of this stuff. I was not even anywhere in the vicinity of it. Although I did tell the bus it's okay to go forward. So, you know, without the judge there, we would not have had as much fun. John and I kept saying, "Is he going to come again tonight?" And he shows up every night. Of course, he had to leave every now and again to take care of business in the courthouse. And then we got the full story after. But John keeps saying to me, "Tell my wife I need a bus." Because we could run bus trips through Coleman Park lights, we could have a bus in the parade, we could make a beer bus out of it. So John needs a bus. And then there's the mayor. She didn't come out to Holiday Lights but one time. She said to her husband, "It's too cold, I'm not going out there, you go." So she sent him night after night after night. But then, after it was all over, she said to me, "Do you think you could run that for 2 more months?" I did see a generator similar to yours in one of the pawn shops the other week. You probably stopped checking now, I think, right? Yeah. No, but I appreciate this award. I'll keep it brief. Thank you all. I'm still stunned. I'm overwhelmed by the honor. I looked at the list of names, and I'm really honored to be listed in that group of names. So thank you very much. Thanks for coming out.